The Thunder should definitely consider taking this huge gamble on trading for Malik Beasley. Yeah, he's had some trouble in the past considering his history with gambling. I know, little silly saying that, but it would be a good decision if you think about it. All you have to do is trade away Ousmane Dieng to create this extra roster space right there. You also free up enough cap to sign him as well, using a little bit of the MLE where you don't really have to worry about the tax bracket then. And you also free up around $5 million trading away Ousmane Dieng's contract to where it makes it really easy to try to sign Malik Beasley, who is a free agent. His three-point numbers would greatly help out this Thunder squad. And there are concerns about his defense, but Ivan White kind of talked about it a little bit over at Sports Illustrated, and I do think it is a good decision to try to trade after him. So I'm going to break down in today's video why it would be a good gamble to go ahead and go sign Malik Beasley in free agency. Before we get into all that though, two things. Yes, I know it's been a while since you guys have seen me. I haven't had Wi-Fi set up in my place for about a week, so I had to take a minute from recording videos. I was just using my hotspot all the time to record these videos. It eventually ran out, and I couldn't do any more work, so I had to wait for my Wi-Fi to get set up. And then secondly, as always, if you guys enjoyed the content, you want to see more of the channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell notification, as 9.3% of you guys subscribed, have that bell notification turned on. I want to get it to 15% of you guys have it turned on so you don't miss a single minute of the action here regarding the Oklahoma City Thunder. With that out of the way, let's go ahead, get into talking about Malik Beasley a little bit and why I do think the Thunder should take a gamble on him. All right, I know they can just return the same team and try to run it back next year, but this is a legit chance to get better. It's not like you have to sign Malik Beasley to a multi-year deal. You can sign him to a one-year deal, kind of similar to what Ousmane Dieng's on right now. If Malik Beasley's not panning out, just trade him away. That's kind of the same situation going on with Ousmane Dieng. If he doesn't pan out this season, he could be traded before the deadline to get assets in return. You can do the same thing with Beasley right there. Both are on one-year deals, just kind of get something out of it. You trade Ousmane Dieng, free up cap space, and maybe get a second-round pick or two in return for him as well. Then you get Malik Beasley pretty much for nothing at that point. If Malik Beasley isn't panning out, or he's not, you can trade him and get someone better. You can go ahead and do that during the season, try to get more picks for him as well. It's kind of one of these replenishing cycles. It's not like the team is going to lose much. And Ivan White talked about it a little bit, so let's go ahead, get into talking about what Ivan White had to say. On Friday, ESPN's Shams Charania reported that Malik Beasley is no longer the target of a federal gambling investigation. Beasley, a free agent this summer, has effectively had any negotiations on hold as teams have been uninterested in pursuing him, with potential punishment looming. However, with Beasley now being cleared, he should be able to begin looking for his next home. After a successful season with the Detroit Pistons, Beasley likely would have been one of the top free agents this summer, but this investigation has likely forced him into taking a much smaller payday. So he was making $2 million, or not 2 million, 8 million last season. Not really a ton. That's a good budget deal, and you could probably get him for the same thing of 8 to 10 million, considering the investigations going on with him. Now that they're completely freed up, though, don't really got to worry about that. Breaking Malik Beasley is no longer a target of the federal gambling investigation conducted by the Eastern District of New York. His attorney, Steve Haney, and Mike Schachter told ESPN this potentially reopens free agency for one of the NBA's top shooters. He is one of the NBA's top shooters, all right? We'll go ahead and take a look at his stats later on in this video, so don't miss that. But it would be a statistical and play-wise, it would be a great decision to add Malik Beasley to the squad. The only, question about it is, would Sam Presti really want to do that? Sam Presti is a guy who likes to draft people over players, all right? Maybe he's going to keep the same kind of idea going into free agency as well, going after Isaiah Hartenstein and some other players in the market. Malik Beasley, with this, gambling investigation that was happening, even though he is clear now, it could provide unwanted drama and attention to the Thunder next season that Sam Presti and everyone else do not want with the squad. Just when you look at the stats, though, it would be a great addition. Let's go into a little bit more of what Ivan White discussed over at Sports Illustrated. Last season, Beasley was second in the league in total three-pointers with 319, knocking down a career-best 41.6% of his 9.3 outside shots per game in the playoffs. Beasley made only 33.9% of his threes, still taking nearly 10 a night across 6 games in the first round. If the Thunder believe Beasley can hold it up defensively and a bit more consistent in the postseason, it might be worth the risk. With Beasley playing every game last season, the Pistons were 11th in defensive rating, which could point to his defense being only a minor concern, especially if he were to join the Thunder's elite defense. That's a great point that he brought up about his defense, all right? His defense is not the greatest in the world. We know this, all right? He's more of a three-point specialist, offensive kind of player. That's what he is. He's not really a great defender. However, with the Thunder having the best defense in the league last season, you can kind of take the risk of adding on Malik Beasley for Ousmane Dieng when Dieng just barely played. He didn't really do much for the Thunder last season. You know, it's not like it's going to ruin the defense altogether. The Thunder can still have the best defense in the league, headlined by Alex Caruso, Dort, Cason Wallace, J-Dub, Isaiah Hartenstein, Chet Holmgren. All those guys can still, give the Thunder the best defense in the league. Adding Malik Beasley isn't going to make them a bottom 10 defense in the NBA. It's not even going to make them, outside the top 10. They'll still be top 5 no matter what. I know we want that number 1 defense, and I still think they can, even having Malik Beasley on the squad. But adding in a 42% three-point shooter onto the squad that could potentially do the same thing in the playoffs. He only shot 33-point-something% in the playoffs. But everyone's percentages usually go down in the playoffs. You saw it with Dort. You saw it with Shai. You saw it with Dub. You saw it with Cason Wallace, Alex Caruso. Everyone on the Thunder pretty much had a worse three-point percentage in the playoffs last season. So I don't want to hear that excuse of, oh, he didn't do it in the playoffs last year, so why should we go ahead and take him now if he's not going to perform in the playoffs? No one really performed exceptionally well from 3 in the playoffs for the Thunder last season. But his stats, man, they really are one of those things where you have to kind of take the gamble on him right here. 27.8 minutes per game last year. He averaged 16.3 points, 2.6 rebounds, 1.7 assists, and almost a steal per game. He's not really a rim protector, but he's also 6'4", so you're not really going to expect that out of him. He only had a turnover per game and 28 minutes of play. That's really impressive, and only 1.5 fouls per game. Really impressive numbers right there. 43% from the field. 41.6% from 3, almost 42. 6'4", he's in the prime of his career now as well. 53% on corner threes, 93% of his threes are assisted, and 71% of all his shots are three-pointers. So, as you can see there, he is a really solid player. He is. 16.3 points per game. Now, that's probably with him starting majority of the season. I wasn't really familiar with the Pistons starting lineup whatsoever. Having him off the bench, though, a 41.6% three-point shooter off the bench. I know we have Isaiah Joe, but he can be really streaky at times. He can be. He's not always going to be on shooting lights out from 3. There were a lot of games where he was silent and quiet from behind the arc that the Thunder ended up losing because he couldn't shoot. He's supposed to be the guy the team can rely on. And I'm not saying get rid of Joe and replace him with Beasley. I'm saying get rid of Dieng and replace him with Beasley, because that's more doable. Then it turns into a battle between, all right, who are you going to keep? Because they're going to be making around the same amount of money between Joe and Beasley. Who's a better player? Who do you want to keep? And then you can use the season until the trade deadline to kind of figure out, okay, we're going to keep Beasley, move on from Joe. Or keep both of them all together, move on from Joe in the offseason. There's a lot of options that you can do here. I'm not trying to make this a whole replace Isaiah Joe kind of video. I'm just saying Malik Beasley would be a great addition to the squad when you look at statistics. Is it going to happen? Probably not, because Sam Presti likes to, bring on people over players first. And with all the investigations that were going on with Malik Beasley this offseason, even though it was proven nothing was happening with him regarding gambling, I still don't think Sam Presti is going to make the, move right here. But it would be a great idea if they did bring him on. Trade Dieng, free up cap space. It's not like he's going to be doing much. He hasn't been panning out. He's going in his 4th year and has barely even played for the Thunder. Hasn't really shown much there besides a few games here and there. It would be a good decision to replace someone that's not really going to have a future with this team with someone that can contribute to a back-to-back championship. All right? That's all I got for this video. Let me know what you guys personally think about bringing on Malik Beasley, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.